It's a beautiful day and today we are going hiking onto the German mountains. I will show you the plants and hopefully also if I can find some animals what are growing and living here. So it takes about 2 hours or 2.5 hours to get to the top of the mountain. It's the Kampenwand. It's about 1,600 meters high and yeah, should be fun. About probably 50 meters up the mountain, not very much, but we already can see many different plants and also some nice butterflies. Like there's one. Yeah, mostly they are orange or yellow. So the forest is not really old actually. About 100 years they cut it all down and then we planted it, so nearly every tree has the same age. So we have many trees, they are all about 80 to 100 years old, you can see around here. Of course there are also smaller ones, but the oldest ones are between 80 and 100 years old. We have tons of rainfall here, so all over the place is water. Yeah. So the vegetation changes over the height of the mountain. Here it is quite normal, like half a meter high, the grasses and flowers, but it changes up there. They will be only about 10 centimeters high and there are more succulent plants, not so much like these big leaf plants anymore. So we have here some really nice ferns, some small ferns like these ones, and these ones are actually evergreen, and then we have some bigger ones like these. We do not have any tree ferns, they're just like really shallow and small. They're all over the place, and the reason for that is we have really clear water. You actually can drink it, but I wouldn't drink it down here because there could be anything up there. There could be some deers that cooked into the water or something like that. And we have tons of chalk here. Like this. It's all like, it's really loamy, or it's actually lime. It's really loamy stone. It's white and you can see it here. Just white stone. So we go further up the mountain. We have here some wild raspberries, berries growing here. This one has no fruits, but there are some that have got fruits. And if we go further up the mountains, we will see some orchids. Probably not all orchids will flower, but there should be always some in bloom. Like, probably, what is it? Well, this is some kind of a berry, I wouldn't eat it. Probably poisonous. There are some really poisonous berries up here. If you eat one, you could die. So these are wild raspberries. So the wild full of worms. There are plenty of them here. So this is completely normal here. We have many storms and trees fell down if we have a storm. There's some many berries up there, all over the place. So you can see the inside, it doesn't look really nice. spring, the farmers take their cow herd up the mountain for grazing. And in the autumn or late summer, all the cows go down again. Because in the winter it's far too cold up there, but in the summer it's too warm down there and the temperatures are far better up there. So the ideal temperature for cows is between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius. Perfect would be about 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. And we have these temperatures far often up the mountain in the summer than down in the cities. So the milk production, as they bring up cows for milking, the milk production is far better up here than down there, because the cows do not need so much energy for evaporation because it's too hot for them. So now we are about 300 meters high or 400 meters. And here in the summer there are cows that eat the grass and the herbs. Now there's a helicopter again. Okay, quite annoying. And in winter you can go skiing here. Well, it's quite fun, but also really expensive, and it's not so good for the environment, because many plants do not have a chance to have a long enough season because they apply extra artificial snow on top of it. It takes far longer to melt down than the normal snow. Well, the season is a lot shorter and not so many plants, so the plant diversity is much less. So we are now halfway up the mountain and we have a beautiful view. Down there you can see the Chiemsee. It's one of the biggest lakes here. We live over there, and this is the mountain where we have to go up. Yeah, and it's actually quite warm. Probably about 15 degrees Celsius, so it's okay, still okay. So we have different plants here, like dandelion, this is actually dandelion, and grasses and herbs like oregano and thyme, Thymus, it's the Latin name, and yeah, we have orchids, but down here they already flowered, so hopefully we can see some in flower up the mountain. So now we are in a canyon up in the mountains. It's quite actually really cold. Nearly, I think the wall has permafrost. There are no plants here. Just a bit of moss and ferns. Okay. Yeah, but it's quite cool. Water's dropping. So finally we found a flowering orchid. This one. So up here they still flower in August, but these are the last ones in flower. We still have some rhododendron somewhere here and there, the pink flowers. You can see the clouds over there, and an interesting fact is that if there are mountains, the clouds rise over the mountains. You can see it a bit, because the clouds over there are a lot lower than these ones. So we just found an insect-eating plant. It's this one, and it catches insects with glue, like you can see it here a bit. So the insects fly on top of it and they cannot get away. They're just stuck. So very typical trees are these mountain pines. You can get really old, but we don't use them for anything, so we cannot harvest the wood, anything out of them. So here are some many beautiful flowering big leaf plants that are really typical for here. These are perennials, so they come up every spring, but it's probably at the end of June here. So we just came out of there and we saw nobody else. Also another orchid. This one has more elongated leaves and more spots. And actually two. So here we have a really nice and unique mushroom growing. This type, I think it's not edible, it's poisonous, but slugs love it. Like this one. Wow. You can eat everything. So I found another orchid, and this is a seed pod of an orchid. And actually it has not real seeds, they're really fine spawns, like a fern, and they have to make a symbiosis with a mushroom, and then it can grow. It takes really long. So in here are probably millions of these tiny seeds. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.